Hi, y'all. Welcome back to the saloon. It's been a while. I had about 3 or 4 episodes filmed and had them saved in my computer. And when I went to upload one, it was corrupted. Went to upload another one, it was corrupted. Went load, you get the picture. I don't know what happened, but I'm not too computer savvy, so I don't know how to fix that or what happened. So I just decided to go ahead and film them again. So here we are. And and with that said, I never want to really get on a schedule with shallow saloon stories. People tell me, hey Matt, if you want to grow your YouTube channel and all that stuff, you need to do things more consistent and everything. But I'm doing this for fun and for the 100 to 400 people that watch these videos, because it seems like it's a niche audience. And I just don't want to be bound every week to have to come in here. And sometimes you just want to come to the saloon and have fun and not have to film anything. So but today we're going to talk and do a little story. Before I tell it, if you like this video, maybe share it with a friend that enjoys this kind of YouTube storytelling, and or likes music stories, or behind the scenes of music stories. Share it, and also give it a like, and help it get around a little bit. So with that said, let's dive into the story. Around the early 2000s, I was living in Wichita, Kansas, and man, I played some absolute shitholes when I began my journey as a professional musician. Just some really, really rough places. It wasn't a deal where back then that there were breweries, and these were like working class bars. And the town I lived in, Wichita, Kansas, was a working class town. You got Boeing, Cessna, all these airplane plants out there. And, so you had some pretty rough places that you'd end up playing these little holes in the wall. And a lot of the times I would end up out in, the plains of Kansas, where, these little tiny towns that would have a bar, and, hardly any live music or live entertainment, except maybe, 3 or 4 times a month. And, it would just be, sometimes it'd be great, sometimes it'd be just the worst ever. And I know everybody that's ever been a professional musician or played music out live or had a gig, you've had bad gigs. And this was one of the worst ones ever. But at the same time, it was one that left me, I guess, maybe 2 degrees, 3 degrees separated from Garth Brooks, right? So I know you didn't see that one coming. But anyway, played this little place in, I can't even remember where it was, Goddard, Kansas, I want to say, possibly. Me and my bass player at the time, Jesse Major, who you've heard me talk about in these shallow saloon stories before. We go to play this little hole in the wall in this little tiny town. It was a Friday night, and sorry, be patient with me here. I'm enjoying some creme brulee. Yeah, bougie. But anyway, we played this little town on a Friday night, and get there and everything seems to be pretty lo-fi. Everybody's nice, and there's about maybe, I don't know, 8 people in the bar or something like that. And we're setting up, and it seems like these folks are going to be nice people to play for and everything. Start playing, and we were pretty well received. Everything went good. People kind of got into the music. It really didn't. The crowd never got above about 8 people, to be honest. So we play our first set, just stand-up bass and guitar. And the next thing I know, we take a break, and I go up to the bar, and excuse me, I take that back. There was a fiddle player with us too, a guy named Julian Mayfair, who I've talked about on Shiloh Saloon Stories before. He was with us as well. And we go up, having a couple drinks at the bar and everything. And Julian is down talking to someone, and this guy, and he comes back over to us after he's talked to him for a little bit and says, "Hey man," he said, "this guy over here wants to see if he could sit in with us. He plays guitar for Garth Brooks." And we're like, "What? Garth Brooks?" You know? He said, "Yeah, man, he plays guitar for Garth Brooks. They're on a break right now, apparently, or whatever, not on the road. And he wants to sit in and play guitar." So I said, "Well, I don't believe that," you know, and at the time I didn't. I was like, you know, what are the chances? People say crazy stuff like that all the time just to get up and get on a stage and play with a band, you know, or just to be seen. And so eventually I said, "Okay, sure, let him come up and play." So he got up and played with us, and to be honest, we were just playing old blues, and to be honest, I didn't think he was great. Look, I was like 24 years old, you know, and at the time, and if you didn't know how to play old school blues, you know, I was like a fanatic about that stuff. So if you didn't know how to play it the way that I thought that, you know, the real blues was supposed to be played, then, you know, you were, you know, you weren't big on my list, I guess. That's the way to put it. So anyway, I thought this guy was a joke, you know. I was like, what is this guy doing, you know? So anyway, he played with us for about, I guess, a set or so until I kicked him off the stage, and proceeded to finish up the night and everything. And when we're packing up, we loaded up the Jesse's car, my bass player. Worst gig, one of the worst gigs ever. Everything had gone fine up to this point until it was time to get paid. It's where a lot of the problems occurred back then. But anyway, I could tell you some doozies, but this is a doozy for sure. Go to get paid. First off, nobody's around to pay. You know, it's one of those deals where, hold on, let me go find so-and-so. Let me go find so-and-so. I'm waiting around for a little bit. And then this guy that hired us comes out. He had been really quiet the whole evening. It seems like, from my recollection, there were two ladies that ran the bar. I want to say maybe I got the impression that one of them was this guy's wife. But like I said, the whole feeling of the bar was, you know, a good, you know, everybody was in a good mood. And like I said, it wasn't packed, but, you know, people were receptive to the music. But this guy, you know, it was weird. The more I observed him throughout the night, he was just kind of standoffish from everyone. You know, even the two ladies behind the bar, he didn't talk to anybody. He just kind of just stood over in the corner with his, you know, kind of lip stuck out. And so when it was time to get paid, he comes over. And hands us some money, and it's like $100 light. He just kind of slapped it in my hand and then walked off. So I asked the two ladies, one of the ladies, I said, "Hey, you know, tell them what's going on and everything." "Oh," and they're really nice about it. I'm like, "Honey, you know, we're sorry about that. Let me go talk to Ralph," or whatever the hell his name is. And he comes back and starts arguing with me and screaming at me, basically, that I'm wrong and he don't owe me any more money, the band. And, you know, once again, young, 23, 24 years old. I used to have a really bad temper, and if somebody I felt like had wronged me, I just saw red and just didn't have logic. Just went out the door. And so going round and round with this moron, and basically he tells me, starts coming around the bar, and it's like, get the fuck out, get out of here! I'm gonna starts threatening to beat her ass. And he's a big guy too. So I start realizing, get a reality check that, like, hey, you probably need to shut your mouth. This guy will clobber you, and you don't have what it takes to get through this little situation and come out looking okay. So I pick up my guitar and stuff and start making a beeline for the door, and Jesse does too. Once again, I've lost track of Julian, the fiddle player. I can't remember what happened to him. Poor Julian. I hope I wasn't that inconsiderate of his well-being at the time. I probably was. But anyway, we run for Jesse's car, basically, and get in it. And as soon as we get in the car, throw our last little bit of gear in there and stuff, the guy's like screaming at the door and everything. And as soon as we close the doors, he goes back inside the building. And we're just kind of thinking, breathing for a minute, just like, what the hell just happened kind of thing. We sit there for a minute, and before we know it, the door to this place just pops open, blows open, and this guy comes out with a damn shotgun and starts screaming at us. This is like summertime, okay? Windows, I think we had the windows down probably because we never had air conditioning back then. We were so, young and broke. But so this guy comes out with a shotgun and starts screaming, "God damn it, I told y'all to get the fuck out of here." Needless to say, we put the car in drive and get the hell on out. And it's nighttime by now. And so we're both just, speechless, blown out, thinking that, damn, we just narrowly escaped death over a gig that paid $200 for 3 people. And we've left with $100. And let me say that people, that those aren't my standards anymore, that things have gotten a lot better in the years since, or I would have stopped playing music a long time ago. But like I said, we were young. We didn't know what we were doing. I'd only been playing out live professionally for a couple of years. And there just wasn't anywhere else to play but these absolute hole-in-the-wall bars for a while until we got past that. So I know what you're saying. You're like, man, that's horrible. That is one of the worst gigs ever, But wait, it's not over yet. As I said, it was summertime and it was nighttime. All of a sudden we start getting, we were only about, I want to say like 30 miles from home. And I can't remember where. I want to say Goddard, Kansas again, but don't quote me on that. So we're on the way home and the rain starts pouring. And the next thing we know, we're in the middle of a thunderstorm. And I'll never forget, we were coming towards this bridge and all of a sudden, lightning strikes the car. And all the lights go off, the headlights go off, everything, car comes to. I want to say that it struck the headlights and the headlights went out. We came to an abrupt stop, and I remember the lights went out in the car. I can't remember. It seems like the lights went out on the dash too. But something had happened where the lights, the electrical system or something had been struck by lightning, and the headlights on the car would no longer work. So it being nighttime and raining, we had no way to get home. We were stuck. Mind you, this is before cell phones. Thankfully, we weren't out in the middle of nowhere. We were still basically in this town, just driving out, of the town. So we sat there for a good, I don't know, 30 or 45 minutes and waited for the rain to stop. And got out, walked up to a convenience store, found a payphone, called Jesse's dad, Cliff Major, who you'll remember from another Shiloh Saloon stories I did a whole episode on him. And he came and picked us up from our disastrous gig and got us back to the mainland and safely, safe and sound. So the story also continues. It doesn't end there. We got more to go, just a little bit. About 2 weeks later, after the dust settled, I'm sitting in my living room and the Grammys were on. And the next thing I know, they're getting ready to go to commercial or something. And they said, well, we'll be back. A live performance from Garth Brooks. So when they come back from commercial, they come back to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Garth Brooks. He's sitting there and he's got like this little headpiece thing on microphone. Looks like a sports newscaster would be talking through, but he's singing through it. And they start panning around the stage and everything. And there's this guy over here playing guitar, and this guitar player is kind of a silhouette in the shadow. In fact, the whole band is the same, it seems like. But as the lights come up and the song kind of progresses and goes along, they show the band, and the camera pans over to the guitar player. And guess who it is? Your favorite blues musician who wants to sit in at the local bar. Yep, it was him. It was really Garth Brooks, guitar player, believe it or not. Well, hey, listen, thanks for stopping by the saloon. I'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe or pass this along to someone who you might think likes it or likes this kind of stuff. And I'll catch you next time at the saloon. Y'all have a good one.